Hello, hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams knitting podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. I had to re-record this intro like thrice because I forgot how to do it. I've been pretty consistent until today. Okay. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well and you've been crafting. I have been doing the same. A lot of making, a lot of knitting, a lot of sewing and quilting. Everything's been going on my end. I thought I'd come and give you an update on everything that I've been working on. I have 2 finished objects, at least 3 works in progress. And I always have some quilting and sewing to share as well. I will put snippets of me working away like I did in the last episode, and that actually reminds me, thank you so much for your wonderful comments on my previous episode. I was feeling a bit low about the podcast, and all of you were so kind. Like it was amazing to see all your comments and messages, and I truly appreciate everyone who watches and follows along with me. I've definitely made a lot of good friends through this podcast, and I definitely appreciate and cherish that. Let's get into the knitting. I have 2 finished objects, like I said. The first one is actually my Sophie Shawl. This shawl is made in handspun yarn, and I am so proud of this. This is my first complete handspun project. I have not washed and blocked this. I need to do that. Like the fiber had been, like when I made the yarn, I did wash and everything, so to set the twist and all of that, but I didn't actually block the shawl itself. This fiber is from Dark Lake Fiber Art, and it's a corridale top. The colorway was called Hazy, and I am not an advanced spinner enough to be able to spin worsted, to be able to spin woolen. I just do a regular, whatever comes naturally, that's what I do. It's a 2-ply yarn, and I'm super happy with this shawl. It's so pretty. Like I really like the color changes. This brown spine down the middle is where I changed skeins actually. I weighed my total yarn, and then I used up 50% of it, and then I started decreasing for the shawl so that I'd have enough for the decreases. But I was actually left with a bunch of yarn, like about 13 grams of it, which meant that my second skein had more yardage, so I most likely spun thinner for my second skein. But anyway, I am super happy with it. It's very beautiful. I love the colors on it, and I love the transitions. I did a fractal spin, so I wanted to see how that would work up in just like a plain garter stitch. I really like the Sophie Shawl pattern. It's very simple, but very like it's a little hard in the beginning to read your knitting because the garter bumps, it's not formed yet, but once it forms you can read the garter bumps because you have to do increases, certain number of rows and everything, and then you do decreases. So it's simple. It was I'm trying to think. I think what was I doing when I was knitting this? I feel like I was knitting on it of course in front of the TV and everything, but I felt like I was somewhere else when I was knitting this, but I can't remember. That's okay. I'm super like I said, I'm very happy with it. I don't have a lot to say. I have knit the Sophie Shawl before for a neighbor for Christmas last year, so I had the pattern and it worked out perfectly for this. I'm currently in the process of spinning 3 braids of fiber, and I want to make another shawl, but I'm trying to figure out which shawl would be nice for 3 skeins. But if you have 2 skeins of any yarn, this is a nice shawl to make. Maybe I should you can wrap it around your neck. I think it's not too wide, but you can actually put it on your shoulders and it will stay, just because it covers a little bit. But I sometimes I would like this much coverage as well. I would wear it around my shoulders. So yeah, I'm super happy with it, and it's my first handspun project. Definitely not the last. I have a lot of handspun stuff going on. But yeah, that is my first finished object. And somewhere my other finished object is actually, this was a test knit for Annina of the Annuity Knits podcast, and this is the Kuusamo Sweater. This is a children's sweater. I knit this in Tosh DK by Madeline Tosh, in this colorway called Copper Pink. So I had this copper pink colorway from years ago. It's almost like 5-6 years old in my stash, and 2 skeins were left. And I knit the yoke and the body in those 2 skeins. And I realized that like the baby is my neighbor's granddaughter, and my neighbor's very tall, her daughter's very tall, and the grandbaby is also a big baby. So I quickly realized I needed to make it a little longer, so I did make the body longer. This is for a 1-year-old child, by the way. And then the baby, the recipient will be 1-year-old in December, so they're like, it's gonna be bigger on them for now, hopefully. And it's not cool or sweater weather yet, but we're all very, very eagerly waiting for it. So anyway, so I realized that I needed to make the body longer, which then meant I ran out of the yarn, and I went to my online store. I shop a lot at Wool & Company. I went to my online store and checked out if there was still like Tosh DK in Copper Pink, and there was, and I bought a 3rd skein. But if you can see the difference, this is the 3rd skein. It has more black speckles and not as many red speckles, but honestly the difference is much more visible on the camera, and in real life you actually don't, that's not what your eye goes to first, but it does have a little difference. But I'm pretty happy with this being like 5 years old and this being the new yarn. Like for a children's sweater, like it's fine. I don't think it's going to be much, it'll be fine. So I finished the sweater. For whatever reason, this took me like over a month to make. It's a kid sweater. I have made adult sweaters in 2-3 weeks, but this, for whatever reason, I knit in the mornings before going to work, and I was knitting on it every day before going to work. But for whatever reason, it just was not getting done. I clearly got distracted more than I thought I did. But I'm glad I finished the sweater because I need to gift it. I didn't wash and block it yet. I'm gonna do that. I don't like to keep the sweaters, especially kids sweaters. I don't like to keep them around the house because I'm always worried they'll catch cat hair. So I wash them and I literally pack them up right as they dry and ship them off, or give them to the recipient. So I'm gonna do that after. I was waiting for me to record so that I could show this to you, and then I'm going to wash and block and send it away. But that was the Kuusamo sweater. Super happy, very nice pattern, simple and yet interesting. There is like these texture detail. I want to knit this pattern again in a plain solid yarn so that the texture is more visible. And one of the testers actually made a version where they knit this stockinette portion in one color and only these rows of texture they did it in another color, and I kind of like it. It looks very very like it looks like a lot of fun, so I think it will be great for a children's sweater. And this is a good basic children's sweater pattern, so super happy with it. And I don't think it has released yet. Anina took a break over the summer, so she pushed the release date to the end of August, so worked out well for me. I was 1 week later than the original deadline, but since she's not released it, I was on time, so that worked out. Thank you, Anina. But yeah, that's my second finished object. Works in progress. I think I have 2 projects that you have not seen before. So I think I have 3 projects that you have not seen before, which are my current works in progress. That's insane. All right. The first one is another test knit. And this one is for Jamie Hoffman, who is known as Knitosophy, and she has a pattern coming out. This is due end of August. It's called Right as Rain, and she has a pattern coming out. I already said that. So it's a raglan tee with a cute lace detail down the front. It's gonna be very hard to see it on my project, so I'm gonna put a picture of it here. And can you believe it? I'm knitting with blue yarn. This is from Stash. This is Pearl Soho Buttercup Cotton. I think it's a discontinued yarn. I didn't even buy this color for myself. This was supposed to be something I knit for a friend in this color. That's why I had it in Stash. But for whatever reason, I wanted a cobalt blue top. So I think I said I have been talking to knitting friends for a while, and I kept saying things like, oh, I don't knit with blue much. I don't knit with blue. I wear a lot of blue because I really love wearing Indian block print or indigo print fabric. So I wear that all the time. I just never knit with blue. I don't know why. And then my brain, and I kept repeating it over the years that I don't knit much with blue. And then my brain suddenly was like, why not? Let's change that. So I'm knitting in blue. It is a very, it's raglan. I've done a lot of raglans. It is a 0 ease. So the bust measurement is basically equal to what your actual bust measurement is. So the finished bust measurement is equal to your own bust measurement. And I was kind of worried about that because I did sign up for the test knit knowing that it was 0 ease, but I then was like, oh, I almost never wear 0 ease garments, but it was something different. So I really like the lace detail down the front. It was a different type of raglan. Otherwise I end up knitting a lot of plain raglans. So I kind of liked that, and then I signed up for the test knit. I love working with this yarn. It is beautiful. and I'm getting very nice stitch definition. It's cotton, so I'm expecting that it will grow slightly and then it will not be as zero ease. A lot of testers have actually already finished it and they've not made it a zero ease garment, so of course you can do whatever you want with it. It's a V-neck in the front. So I should have put a picture here so you would have seen that, but yeah, this is a project going. It's like on US 2 needles, so they're virtually invisible. They're virtually sock needles. It's going well. I'm enjoying it. The yarn is very nice to knit with. I'm actually sort of sad that they discontinued this yarn. It's very nice on the hands. It doesn't feel like knitting with cotton as much. Like my hands are doing fine. I'm using bamboo needles, so that always helps, but it just felt like I wasn't really done with my summer knits, so I signed up for this and we'll see how it looks. I'm imagining this with a denim skirt, so that'll be fun. All right, that was my first work in progress. My second work in progress happened right after my Sophie Shawl finished. I was spinning another yarn during Tour de Fleece, and I made this yarn, and then I was like, you know what, I need to knit with it. So this is what my handspun looks like. I am so happy with this. It's pink. I didn't even like think that it would turn out this well, as in like the color would look this good. I will put a snippet here on what the fiber looked like and everything, to give you an idea what this compares to the fiber actually. So I quickly wanted to show you also the fiber that led to the Daft Days contrast color. So this is the BFL silk and this is the merino, and you can see how to me the colors were quite different, but like when plied together they made that beautiful yarn. I'm also not pulling them out of the bag because then it'll become kind of difficult to handle, but I have an extra 2 braids so that if I don't have enough for the sleeves, I can spin the yarn again. Yep. And I like it enough that if I just, you know, use it for another project, I'm happy with that. But I am super happy with how this all worked up. Actually, I lied. This is just BFL. It's called Smitten with Cerise, and this is Sly Pinks. It is the Three Waters farm. For whatever reason, I thought that was wrong, but it isn't. And Anne was very kind to custom dye this for me. This is an existing color that they have. They were just out of stock, so I asked for more and they dyed it for me. I decided the best possible way to use this sweater would be to knit a Daft Days cardigan by Rebecca Clow, and I am so pleased with how that's turning out. It is so much fun, and my main color or my base color is this Bare Naked Wool Better Breakfast DK. This is yarn I purchased at Rhinebeck 2021. So I'm finally using this stash yarn, and I think this is going to be one of my Rhinebeck outfits, and I am so excited about that. I like to use, for whatever reason, I've made this thing for myself that I will wear to Rhinebeck what I bought at Rhinebeck in previous years. So this was a Rhinebeck purchase. I'm making my Rhinebeck sweater, and it's going to be the Daft Days cardigan. And I have a whole outfit planned and everything, but more about that later. But I'm super pleased with how this is turning out. It's kind of mosaic knitting. Having said that, Casey from Young Folk Knits is starting a Mosaic Mayhem knit along, so I'm on point. I'm already working on a mosaic sweater cardigan. I'm very happy. Both the yarns are lovely to knit with. I did take a lot of pictures of this handspun with other yarns to see which one it could be paired with the best, but it felt like the oatmeal brought it out pretty well. So this is a bottom-up drop shoulder cardigan. So I have done a considerable amount. I actually have a measuring tape right here. So I got this cute measuring tape from a friend. Oh, I have like 9.5 inches done on the body. My cardigan bodies or sweater bodies are usually 12 to 13 inches in length, so not too far from it. That's my Daft Days cardigan, and I am super happy with it. It's definitely, I have entered my pink era. For whatever reason, I have suddenly like, you know, pinks and blues actually should be the theme of my current knitting mojo. And then my third work in progress is something I started right after I finished the Kuusamo Sweater on Friday last. Today is Monday, August 12th. After work, I decided I will record this snippet. I have been taking videos all throughout the weekend, so there's footage from that, but I wanted to come and sit and actually talk about the finished objects and works in progress, because I don't know how to do that in vlog style yet. So anyway, I had this beautiful pink yarn which I purchased from my local yarn store, and this is actually Ruby and Rose's yarn. This is the soft rose, and this is called Rose Cloud, basically fingering merino, and this is Suri silk in this beautiful color. And you know, I don't know what she puts in her dye. It just smells, it's scented, it's beautiful. It's gone, like it doesn't go away. It's been sitting in my stash for like at least 5 months now, and the smell hasn't gone. So I feel like it's something in the dyeing or the finishing process of the hand dyeing process. And I started a fuzzy pink sweater, basically. Oops, this yarn is stuck in my stitch marker. So this pattern is called the Cognac Sweater, and the designer is Atelier Castin on Instagram. I will put their name on the screen here, and this is how it looks. It is a contiguous satin sleeve construction, so it's hard to see in this fuzzy yarn, but basically you cast on for the back, you knit a little bit of the back, and then you pick up for the shoulder, you knit a little bit of the shoulder, and then you do this thing where you pick up, like knit, then pick up along this, and then knit your back, and you basically make a contiguous yoke. You knit flat for a bit and then join in the round, and then you use German short rows to shape the neck. It is a very nice construction. I will say that I am thoroughly pleased with the construction, and I love the scoop neck shaping with German short rows. It's very simple. Like if you just follow the instructions like line by line, it tells you everything. It has small diagrams in the pattern that show you how and where to pick up stitches, and it's amazing. Like and then you're knitting the sleeve cap while you're knitting the body. So currently I'm on the increases, and at some point I will, like in next 11 rows or so, not 11 but like 8 rows or so, I'm going to divide for body and sleeves. I'm aiming for this to be an oversized fluffy sweater, so I'm trying to turn my brain off that is telling me don't do so many increases, don't make the sweater so big, which is what I do to myself every time. I never end up with a oversized relaxed fit. I do knit positive ease sweaters, but I always feel like I stop them close enough to me where I feel like, okay, anything bigger than this and I'm gonna drown in the sweater. But I just want to see what this will look like. I'm trying to turn my brain off, but I am super pleased with how this is turning out. The color is amazing. I'm so happy with this pink, and I'm really ready for sweater weather. So I was like, I need a pink sweater, and I've been wanting to work with this yarn all summer because I literally bought this yarn like 4 or 5 months ago, so like at the end of the previous winter season, and I was like, okay, I have to knit this year, and I'm glad I started it. And actually Selma sent the as in like she showed me the pattern. Like I didn't know about this designer at all, and I jumped at it because my whole thing of trying new designers this year, and I'm so happy that I found a new designer who has a fuzzy sweater, which is a set-in sleeve. So it's a different construction than I usually do. So I would usually just go for a raglan, but I am so happy I picked this. And we'll see how it turns out, but it's looking good so far. So that is the Cognac Sweater, and very happy with it. And it's on US 9 needles, by the way, so it's kind of giving me a break from the US 2 on the blue t-shirt. So I like to have at least a few needle sizes. And then the Daft days is on US 5, so I have 2, 5 and 9, so that's like a perfect spectrum over the knitting needle sizes, and I keep switching. So I knit in the morning for an hour, not an hour, maybe like 30 to 40 minutes, and I pick one project in the morning, and then like for the morning, for every day morning is the same project, and then I keep switching the evening projects depending on my mood. But these are the 3 that I'm actively currently working on. I have a lot of plans for the fall. I feel like my knitting mojo has sort of returned with a lot of pink plans, basically. One of my immediate plans is to make the Stromboli by Caitlin Hunter. It's a beautiful lacy design, and I'm so excited to knit it actually. But I'm trying to see if I can finish at least one thing before I cast another one on. And the other thing I want to do is I want to start this thing where I walk on the treadmill for an hour at least in a day. Not every day, but like I go for yoga 2 to 3 times a week. So the days I'm not going for yoga, I want to walk on the treadmill, and I kind of want to start a project for the treadmill. So I've been thinking what would be a good project, and I think maybe just making tiny squares and putting them together in a blanket might be a nice thing to do. But that is the next thing I want to start. So stay tuned in case I start that today. Might not be part of this video, but we'll see. So I want to start a treadmill project, which is not heavy to carry while I'm walking. I have seen those, wrist hanging things which you can put a yarn on, and or like a yarn ball on, and then you can knit. But I don't know if I want anything dangly. I just want the project itself to be small and light. So my treadmill project worked out pretty well. I'm turning all of my Rauma Phenol yarn into squares. So this is the first one I started today. I cast on 30 stitches, and I'm just going to knit it into a square. If you remember, Inga from Knitting Traditions had talked about her blanket, and she said that she's just going to like fold the square by the corner, and when it actually makes a perfect triangle, that's when you're done with the square. So I'm going to follow the same thing. So my treadmill project has started, and this will keep a good count of how many days I'm able to do this. The other reason I kind of want to do it is because I moved to Pittsburgh, and it's not as cold here enough for such a woolly yarn, so I think I'm gonna make a blanket out of this. So those were my knitting works in progress, and yeah, I have been doing quilting as well, and I actually, my last episode, I think I shared the quilt that I gifted to my friend that I sent away. I already gave it to her, so she has the quilt now. And then another friend of mine, I'm now starting a quilt for them, for like him and his wife. And I picked the Blakely quilt by Then Came June, and I'll put a picture of the quilt here. So last Saturday, I actually went fabric shopping, and I had these grand plans of taking you along and doing a vlog style trip to the fabric store, to my local fabric store. By the way, I live 20 minutes away from this spectacular fabric store, or quilt shop basically, called Quilter's Corner, and I love it so much. Every time I go there, I end up spending a lot of money, but I'm always super happy with all the color therapy that happens in that store. So anyway, I thought I'd do a vlog style video, but I got to the store, I started looking at like combinations, and I completely forgot that I was supposed to record. So I got a bit of footage while walking to the store, and then that's it. So I picked my colors for the Blakely quilt, and I'll put a small, while I'm talking, I hope I put a small video here to show you the fabrics that I picked. I picked all the I got all the fabrics. I got the colors, I got the background white, and then I got the backing as well. I know a lot of people say you should wait to buy the quilt backing when you finish the quilt top, but I can just, sometimes I visualize things in my head and I just go ahead and do it, and if it doesn't get used for that project, it'll get used for something else. But I'm pretty happy with my backing right now. I had to make a quick quilting setup in my office downstairs here because my sewing room is occupied with the sewing project, and I cannot disturb the being in the middle of a sewing project. Like, my piece is cut out and half of it's sewn together. I didn't want to rethread the machine. It was a whole thing. So I set up I know I sound crazy, I know. So what I did was, because if you watch my previous episodes, you know that now I have 2 sewing machines. So obviously there need to be 2 different sewing setups in the house. So I set up my smaller machine in the office here. It's a portable machine. So I just wanted to get the blocks done and get them out of my system, essentially. So here is the block. I am so happy. Okay. And here is another. I love this so much. They're going to be so cool together. So basically, this is the color, like 7 colors you needed, and you make like 17. I'm making a queen size quilt because my friend, the guy, is 6'4" and he will not fit in anything under a queen size, I'm pretty sure. So I need like 17 blocks of this and like 16 of this, and then there's a block C which I didn't make, which is basically a version of this. And I got my first 2 blocks. I am so happy. And I just really wanted, so it took me a while to pick out the colors I wanted. I asked my friend what his wife likes. I'm friends with the guy. I've known him for like 20 years. And I'm now friends with his wife as well, but I didn't want to tell her that I'm making a quilt. So I asked him what her favorite color was, and he said purple. So my only thing was that I need to incorporate some purple in the quilt, and she likes bright colors in general, so that's what he said. So I am happy I asked, and that kind of started off my quest for the color palette. I went on Pinterest and I looked for purple color palettes, and then I liked this one. I'll put on the screen. And that's what started off as the inspiration. So first I picked the quilt, then I asked him the color, then I got the color palette. I picked the color palette myself because I made the executive decision basically. And then I went and bought the fabric and I made the block as well. So now this is going to be months and months of just putting all these strips together, getting to the quilt top, and then I think once the quilt top gets done, that's the biggest, longest step, and then the quilting and all of that get done more quickly. But it is a queen size quilt, so we'll see. But yes, that is my quilting work in progress. I was also working, in my last episode, I was working on another baby quilt that I have not made any progress on. I have to get to that, but if there's one project, for whatever reason, I'm not happy and I need a second one. Now that I have a second project, I'm going to be pushed to finish the first one so I can work on the second one. But then I'll start a third one. Anyway, you know the process. I think most of you are with me on it. So yeah, so those were all my current works in progress. I also have sewing works in progress, and I'm gonna see if I can put that in this video somehow. But I'm also considering, because like talking about sewing is like a whole other thing, and I feel like I need to do one of my everything I sewed this summer video. I'm gonna consider doing that, but not sure how it's gonna go. We'll see. And yeah, actually I should say I'm going on vacation 2 weeks from now, and I'm going on a vacation for 2 weeks. So my next video will be sometime in September. I think this will be the last video before I go on vacation. I'm super excited about it. So I have started outfit planning for Rhinebeck, and I'm definitely in a very pink and blue phase. So this is 100% linen. I think it's called washer linen, and I bought this from I bought both of these fabrics from Stylemaker Fabrics in the US. So this is a linen, navy linen, and I'm going to pair it with my Daft cardigan. I'm thinking of making the trapeze dress by Merchant and Mills, and I'll put a picture of the dress on the screen here. So I think it will be a good layering dress for the fall, and I can also wear it with leggings or stockings or something in the winter. This is actually a mid-weight non-stretch denim, and I have I want to make the Fiore skirt. Like the idea of a denim skirt. I do feel like skirts make me look a little frumpy, but I'm gonna try and see if I can like, you know, if the denim skirt looks good. Basically, I have to try it. And I've ordered some yarn to make the Stromboli top. Got some pink yarn to make that top, and so I'm going to be very blue and pink the entire Rhinebeck weekend. But I'm pretty excited about this. I'm gonna start prepping the fabric, so I'm gonna serge the edges and then put it in the washer, and then yeah, I'll keep you updated of my progress. All right, I have an update. My yarn got delivered, and this is the Sonder Fleece and Flax, the new base that they have released. And I'm going to make the Stromboli top by Caitlin Hunter using this yarn, and then I already washed my denim, so it's ready. I might make the skirt earlier than Rhinebeck. I want to wear it. Watch this space for my Rhinebeck outfit process, I guess. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this video and all the content. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe and happy crafting.